The 2026 MLB All-Star Game finalist ballot is here. There are so many guys that deserve to be in the All-Star Game that are left off, and we'll talk about it as we get into these picks more. But I'm going to go through and tell you who I think should be the All-Star Game starters based on who you, the fans, voted on. I say fans because it does seem like a few fan bases dominated this, and I don't necessarily know how many actual baseball fans really got their hands on these voting systems because there's just so many really bad picks. Before we get going into it, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the baseball content coming at you. And shout out to Prize Picks, the sponsor of today's video. You'll hear a little bit more from them later. Okay, so let's start off at first base. In the American League, based on these two options, it is absolutely going to be Ben Rice. He has a nearly 200, well, I shouldn't say it is, it's more than 200, nearly 300 point OPS higher than Vlad Guerrero Jr. He has 18 more home runs. He has 20 more RBIs. The average is better. He has been the way better player. And if Vlad Guerrero Jr. is the starting first baseman for the All-Star Game for the American League, it's an absolute joke. Vlad Guerrero Jr. shouldn't even be the number 2 option. I love Vladdy as a player. This is nothing against him. But having a sub 700 OPS and being a finalist on the All-Star ballot is an absolute joke and disgrace to the game. Maybe I take the All-Star Game a little bit too seriously. I absolutely love it. I think the fact that we could possibly have a guy who is a below league average hitter and having one of the worst starts to a season that he's had in his career starting at first base in the All-Star Game is an absolute joke. So yes, Ben Rice is going to be the pick. Like, even looking at other options in the American League, Mr. Kurtz should have been the other option, debatably could have been the guy that deserves to start at first base. I mean, he's got better numbers than Ben Rice. They're both playing really good. Wilson Contreras has been amazing this year. Even Pete Alonso's been better. Jonathan Aranda, when you look at Vlad Guerrero Jr. among qualified first basemen in the American League, he is the second worst in terms of WRC+, only in front of Vinny Pasquantino, behind Josh Naylor, Kyle Manzardo, Nolan Schanuel, Spencer Torkelson. Like, this is ridiculous. But first, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Use my code HMA to get $50 in lineups instantly as soon as you play your first $5 lineup. So click the link in the description right now, download the Prize Picks app, and use my code HMA to get in on this awesome offer. Because Prize Picks is so easy to use. Simply select more or less on a few different players, lock them into your lineup, and then see how they do. For my picks today, I went with more than 4 strikeouts for Sean Manaea going up against the Blue Jays. I went with more than 4.5 plate appearances for Wilson Contreras going up against the Nationals, who have one of the worst pitching staffs in the league. And then I also went for more than 68.5 passes attempted by Virgil van Dijk in the World Cup game going up against Morocco. Not to mention, Prize Picks is available in most states, including Florida, California, Texas, even the state of New York. So what are you waiting for? Download the Prize Picks app right now and use my code HMA to get $50 in lineups instantly as soon as you play your first $5 lineup. Click the link in the description, download the app, and get in on this offer. Thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to it. In the National League, it's really not that bad. Like, listen, I think Bryce Harper should be the starting first baseman for the National League in the All-Star Game. He's got the best offensive numbers, but Freddie Freeman or Matt Olson, not bad options, by the way. Like, I have no problem with these guys being the other choices. Between these two, Matt Olson's got the higher OPS, Freddie Freeman's got the higher average. Matt Olson, more home runs and RBIs. Freddie Freeman doesn't have more. To me, I'm going to go with Matt Olson. I do think in terms of WAR, it is also Matt Olson by like just a slight sliver. So to me, the best first baseman in the National League this year, again, offensively has been Bryce Harper, but I guess overall, between these two, it's going to be Matt Olson. Those picks don't bother me in the slightest, but these are the right ones. You do anything else, it's probably not right. I mean, Freddie Freeman, who cares? It's the same thing. Now, we are reading this correct. Ernie Clement was the top vote getter in the American League, so he has automatically secured his spot to start at second base. When we look at the stats for qualified second baseman in the American League, he's third in terms of WAR. I actually thought he was going to be higher because of the glove, and he is hitting pretty well. 110 WRC+. I think he deserves over Jazz Chisholm. I honestly think he deserves over Chase Mydroth. I think he's been better. I am wondering why. I guess the defense hasn't been that good at second, but to be honest, I'm not upset that Ernie Clement is the starting guy at second base. It's crazy he got the most votes. Second base in the National League. This one's a joke. I think there's about 7 better options at the second base position than Ozzie Albies, and he's going to be the one that I pick because the other option is Bryson Stott, who is barely even a starter on his own team at times. He gets platooned for every once in a while. Like, These are legitimately horrible options. Again, it seems like the Braves fans, the Phillies fans, the Blue Jays fans stuffed the ballot box a bit because there's no conceivable world where either of these guys deserve to be on the All-Star team, let alone starting in the game. I know I'm being harsh here and I'm being very critical, but these are not the best options. Again, let's look at second base, qualified hitters in the National League. Absolutely insane that J.J. Weatherholt, Luis Arias, Bryce Terang, Brandon Lau, or Xavier Edwards are not the options of the two. Two of those guys should have been picked. Not a single one was. All five of them are having great years. All five of them are significantly better than Ozzie Albies. All five of them are way, way better than Bryson Stott. I mean, Bryson Stott is having a similar year to that of like Nasim Nunez in terms of value. In terms of OPS plus, Willie Castro, Ildemaro Vargas is playing better than him. In my world, it would have been J.J. Weatherholt. I think he deserves to be the starting second baseman in the National League. He's been incredible. But because these are the two options, I guess it's going to be Ozzie Albies and his league average offense with an okay glove at second base. It's just the All-Star Game voting has been a joke at times in the past. And again, it really does bother me, but I also don't know how we fix it if we continue to let fans vote. I don't think this one's as egregious. Like Kazuma Okamoto has played really well this year for the Blue Jays. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but a near 800 OPS, good season, a guy who could be a fringe all-star player. I do think Miguel Vargas should have clearly been here over Kazuma Okamoto, but again, I guess White Sox fans didn't vote, or the rest of the league didn't vote enough for him over Kazuma Okamoto. Junior Caminero, though, is definitely the best option. 292 average, higher than Okamoto, more home runs. The RBIs are relatively in the same. Okamoto does have a lead there, and then, again, about 150-point OPS lead for Junior Caminero. He is absolutely horrible at third base, but we're not caring about that. He's the clear and obvious pick. He's been one of the most valuable third basemen in the league, and in terms of offense, that's the guy I want to see play. In the National League, there are not a lot of great third base options. It has been super, super weak in the National League as a position this season. Max Muncy's definitely one of the better ones, and again, next to Alec Boehm, he has a 230-point higher OPS. Like, what are we even talking about? How is Alec Boehm on here with a 637 OPS, a 225 average, single-digit home runs? It doesn't make any sense to me. I guess we're just looking at RBIs, maybe? But yeah, Max Muncy's the pick. And when looking across the National League, again, it has been very, very weak at the position. But Alec Boehm, the only third baseman that's qualified that he's been better than this season is Brett Baty. Alec Boehm is a finalist for the NL All-Star starting third baseman with a negative F4. If Alec Boehm wins it over Max Muncy, it's crazy. Max Muncy is the right pick, though. So far, I don't think that you can seriously vote any other way. These are the only choices. Maybe Matt Olson, Freddie Freeman, but again, like I do think Matt Olson's been better. That's the only close one. Every other position, based on these choices, has been obvious. Shortstop, my goodness. What is happening here? Andres Gimenez? Andres Gimenez, 667 OPS, a 242 average, 7 homers, 34 RBIs. And guess what? That's a pretty good season for Andres Gimenez. He's not an all-star. He shouldn't even sniff the roster. Again, looking at this position, Bobby Witt Jr. is the clear and best shortstop, even dealing with the injury stuff that he's got going on. But like Colson Montgomery could have definitely been here, should have been one of the other finalists. I mean, you could have put McGonigal there, who's been phenomenal. I know he also has played some other positions, but McGonigal is even a better option than Andres Gimenez. Like, these choices were crazy in the American League. But of course, it's going to be Bobby Witt Jr. He is just significantly better. Again, another 150-point OPS higher. We're going with guys that are below league average hitters. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then in the National League, my God, what a botch this was. Mookie Betts making it is insane. I think the first person to tell you that Mookie Betts doesn't deserve to be a finalist for the MLB All-Star Game would be Mookie Betts himself. He's played better in the last couple weeks, but a 737 OPS, 11 homers, 27 RBIs, 236 average. What screams All-Star there? The fact that he got voted here, again, is crazy. C.J. Abrams deserves to be in the conversation without a doubt, and obviously he is going to be our pick. The numbers are significantly better than Mookie Betts. The guy who really got snubbed, Otto Lopez, fully deserves, I think, to have a shot at being a starting shortstop on the All-Star team. I think C.J. Abrams is going to win it, so Otto Lopez should definitely be a backup. It's crazy to me that these are the options that we've been given. There's really no choice. A lot of these are so insanely chalk, which is why I think they eventually will get the picks right. Outside of second base, everyone else in this video so far that we've picked deserves to be an all-star or the starter in the conversation, but the other options are insane. Again, Otto Lopez legitimately left off this. Bryce Terang left off this. A lot of really good players in the National League. It's been complete mess. Okay, here's definitely one of the worst ones yet. Alejandro Kirk is on the All-Star starter name possibility for catcher. He's hitting 180 with a 548 OPS. I think he's played in, 20, 25 games because of injury. He has 2 homers and 7 RBIs. Absolute joke. I don't even think he's a bad player, but based on what he's done this year, doesn't even remotely deserve to be anywhere close to the All-Star game. Of course, we're going to pick Shea Langoliers, but we left off some really good catchers in the American League once again. Dylan Dingler has the highest WAR among all catchers in the American League. I think it might even be in all of Major League Baseball. Yeah, I think it is actually all of Major League Baseball. 3.7, not on here. I mean, Carter Jensen would have even been a better pick at this point. It's truly insane. So yeah, we go with Shea Langoliers. He's the way better option. His OPS is literally almost 300 points higher. For the National League, again, Dodgers bias coming in here, Will Smith being on here with a 720 OPS and having, again, a bad season for Will Smith standards. A bad season for a lot of good baseball player standards, especially All-Star Game starters. We're going to go with Drake Baldwin, who's been great. Hasn't played in as many games as some of these other guys, which would be the knock. Truthfully, probably should be Hunter Goodman starting at catcher, 25 homers, near 800 OPS. Hunter Goodman's been awesome for the Rockies this year. I'm not upset with Drake Baldwin, again, because I do think he is one of the best catchers in baseball, and at least the numbers are also backing that up. But you can make an argument for guys like William Contreras. I mentioned Hunter Goodman, who I think has a really good case, considering he has 25 home runs. I don't care where he plays. And then let's talk about the outfield, because some of these options, I mean, you guys see them, right? Jesus Sanchez and Dalton Varsho are on this. How is that even possible? There are so many good American League outfielders, and Jesus Sanchez and Dalton Varsho, who, by the way, are having nice seasons. Nothing bad against them, playing perfectly fine baseball. They're finalists? Are we serious? All the other guys I don't have a problem with. Cody Bellinger's gone ice cold recently, which is a reason why his OPS isn't as high as some of the others. Aaron Judge has been hurt. He's not going to play in the game. Mike Trout's hurt. He's probably not going to play in the game. I think it's pretty crazy that a guy like Randy Arozarena is left off the list. He's been one of the better outfielders in the American League this year. Riley Green, despite not hitting for as much power as we've seen in the past, has been phenomenal. Like, the Tigers aren't good, but he's been one of the better outfielders in the American League. Even a guy like Taylor Ward or Soderstrom, like, there's a lot of other options. And again, we have Jesus Sanchez and Dalton Varsho on here. Aaron Judge was always going to get on here. I don't even know who to pick. Buxton, Bellinger, Judge. I'll switch Bellinger for Trout, and I'm going to pick 2 guys that are not even going to play in this game. Like, what in the world is going on? It feels like this is the worst All-Star Game voting that we've seen in a long time. I feel like the last time I remember it being this bad was when the Royals basically had, the entire infield. Like, Omar Infante was getting votes and Alcides Escobar. It was insane. And then for the National League, again, there are some really bad, egregious choices here. So Teoscar Hernandez has no business being an All-Star. Ronald Acuna Jr. hurt, also still has no business being an All-Star this year. Even Andy Pages started off the season incredibly hot, but there are just so many better outfielders this season. He's been great. He's been really good. All of those guys have been good. They've not been all-star starter caliber, especially when you look at a lot of the National League outfielders that were left off. I believe Pete Crow Armstrong is the most valuable player in baseball this year in terms of FWAR, and also offensively, he's been phenomenal. It's crazy he's not on this list. Corbin Carroll has been incredible. James Wood has been incredible. And Andy Pages has been more of a well-rounded player because he plays really good center field. Jordan Walker's been really good this year. He's been smacking the ball around. I mean, O'Neal Cruz has been really good this year. I wouldn't necessarily vote for him, but these are guys that I feel like all have really good numbers. Shout out Brian Reynolds. Brian Reynolds has been phenomenal this year. He actually fully deserves to have a shot at this. But because of the options, and Brandon Marsh has played well, like, it's going to be, for me, Juan Soto, Brandon Marsh, and I'll go Andy Pages because he's played a great center field. Ever so slightly, like, I'll give it to him, I guess, just because also who cares about the Braves? But, like, the options, we left off of a lot of the best ones, like Corbin Carroll, James Wood not being on here is crazy. PCA should be 100% starting the game in center field. It's bad. It's bad what they've done here. Crazy that this is what we've had to do for our starters, especially because the American League, 2 of them are just simply not going to play in this game. And then for the DH in the American League, I mean, it's obviously Yordan Alvarez. Click him. Super easy, super quick. The fact that George Springer is on here, again, is insane, and it's a bit of an insult to the baseball fans that a guy with a 679 OPS whose job is to only hit has been chosen as the second finalist for the American League DH. So yes, we're going with Yordan Alvarez, who's been the best hitter in baseball this year. There's no doubt about it. Like, probably should have been Yandy Diaz as the other option. Even Jock Peterson's been better. Chase DeLauder, not really a DH, but he's been better. Like, George Springer's been the same level as, like, Jorge Soler. That's who we wanted to go with. Terrible job by the fans. I'm sorry if you're one of those fans and you feel like I'm attacking you, but I mean, some of these picks are absolutely insane. It has become a popularity contest. I know that the All-Star game doesn't really matter. It's a game for the fans. Blah, 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 blah. I feel like you should still make the right pick. I understand this voting, so the voting does win, but clearly it's being dominated by certain fan bases, and the rest of the league is not voting as much. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe you guys can let me know down in the comment section below. Am I overreacting to this? Probably. Probably don't really need to get angry about it, but I am. And that's where I'll wrap it up. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.